Sharp waveform. That's it. That's the beginning. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the thing you never said you wanted. It's the Two Piano Boys.
Is that what we're calling this thing?
I don't know. I mean, something involving... It's the truest piano duet the world did ever see.
Oh, isn't that just so heartwarming?
I die before the first episode's over. That's the catch. Well, for those of you, 3 of you that are listening to this terrible Blue Yeti microphone, I'm sorry, Seth. I have bad mic etiquette, but this was all we had. I don't know. Should we introduce ourselves? Is that a...
people know who we are, right? Or they will, at least.
They will, right. Okay, so assuming
idea.
you've listened to us before, right, you know who we are.
Because we've had episodes before, right?
Yes, we've just got all of the expansive library. Well, for those of you tuning in, thank you for listening to us ramble for God knows how long. You know, it's funny because we think people care about us. It's kind of brutal, isn't it? But anyway, I guess, a year ago, pretty much, we were living in Brinsfield, our Brinsfield apartment, and we had this idea for something that could be fun to do. So Aidan and I were just conceptualizing, literally just because we have some of the most interesting conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Just the most interesting conversations. I mean, and between classes that we had together or just philosophical discussions, and one of our other roommates named Joe would also contribute, and we had considered using his expansive knowledge. But
specifically on old
computer games and debates of gender rights and such after Steven Crowder marathons. But everyone around us is talking about starting podcasts, so screw it, we'll start our own. But the real question now is, what are we even freaking talking about? So I guess we could just kind of start with what's going on in the world today. Today, according to the trajectory of the moon and the sun, is February 8th, 2020. It's approximately 7:58 p.m. We're just chilling at good old 468. I'm just trying to come up with all these trends that we'll futurely use that will become normal things for us to say.
Let's hope so.
But yeah, it's February 8th. Our birthdays were just the other day. I turned 21. Our sweet little baby boy here turned how old?
20.
20.
No big deal.
Because he's so small and young and innocent. And so Aidan, please tell me the most interesting thing you did on your birthday.
Well, I think the most interesting thing I did was eat sushi.
That's pretty
good. About the most interesting thing. I mean, what can you do for your 20th birthday?
Did you spend time with your girlfriend on your birthday?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean, there wasn't too much time to do that type of thing, but
right. Well, thank you for sharing. I will now tell you the most interesting thing I did on my birthday, which was do music history homework while also simultaneously doing business management homework. Thank you. Thank you.
Scintillating.
It was the most thrilling part of my day. Actually, no, the most fun part of my birthday was probably learning the synth solo. That was fun.
Ooh,
it's been 20
that's
minutes.
nice.
It was fun. I mean, well, it was something for me on my birthday rather than...
Oh, yeah. You got to do some...
subjecting myself to the music gods.
Some self-care, right?
Right. So...
That's what all the kids are about these days.
But, in another year gone in our lives, we've seen some crazy things. Even in the time we've known each other, we've been friends for 2.5 years.
Yeah, just about.
Right around that. And we've seen some crazy fun times, some crazy stressful times. Shout out to all you music history peeps because we're still in that freaking junk. But we've had some interesting times, and Lee is kind of this funny culmination of things because there's just 1.5 million. Oh, you got a little visitor with you there. Don't worry, it'll only harm you physically. They're actually completely harmless.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry, he's not dead.
It's okay. I was just attacked by a vicious bug.
A vicious box elder. But yeah, at least this kind of funny conglomeration because you've got, and obviously like college in general is this way, but like you've got, how many states and countries all in like one tiny town that was
lots
never ever meant to handle this many people. Cleveland, I think it reached its probably maximum population that the city could sustain in like the 90s, and Lee just keeps growing.
That's why we need dorms.
That's true. We need more. We need more dorms. God forbid. We had very different experiences coming here. I stayed in BOB freshman year. You, however, took the
good old Medlin route.
The Medlin boys.
It's cheaper, and you have a lot more stories to tell.
That's true. You do have some. Well, I mean, I would say my BOB experience was quite unique.
I'm sure it was.
And then I definitely did have some stories.
Yeah, but I have a lot of stories, and many of them shall not be ever spoken about.
You have many stories that involve naked men. I have many stories that involve narcotics. So it's just a really nice. It's a nice mix.
Yeah, nice mix. There's a certain sort of magic that happens when you have communal living between, a bunch of 18-year-old boys.
A bunch of 18-year-old boys that have no common sense, and you're just all excited to be in school, and just general chaos ensues. But that's not a bad thing. But like we were talking earlier about looking back now, because we're juniors now, so we're old according to all the young people. And like when we got here, we had some really influential people in our lives that were at this point in their academic career. Let's shout out to Daniel Dennis and Christy Edwards, because we know you're listening. Aren't you proud of us? But we had people in our lives that were very important to us, I would say, or definitely had a lot of influence in like the things that we did, and like were literally a daily part of our lives for a long time. Thinking back and like looking at the crazy things we've done, what's something that like now you feel that you wish you would have known when we first got here, like about anything, but more in particular just about like college life or things like that in general?
I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer, because I don't know. Now we're in such a different place.
That's true.
Than we were when we came in. But I would say, I don't know, learning balance between your academics, social life, and whatever else you're doing is
it's a hard balance.
I don't know. You kind of have to. You just learn as you go. So it's not really something you can tell somebody how to do it, especially because everybody's different. But
yeah.
I mean, that's always like, I feel like the stereotypical answer for everybody to give.
But I think it's so funny because it stays so true, like despite that.
That's true.
Because it like, even now I'm like, man, I need to manage my time better. Yeah. I'm committing myself to too many things.
I mean, we're always procrastinating more than we should. So
we're always procrastinating. We're always overcommitting to things. Which I think is another thing that might be kind of interesting about college life, or just like in Lee in particular. There's this expectation to involve yourself as much as possible, but there's also this natural inclination to do that because you're in college and because you're only in college once and blah, 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 blah. But like, I mean, I would completely agree. It's really weird because, everyone is different. Like my study habits, I learned that I can't study like between X hours, or I can't study if I've not had any food, which like most people can't. But I learned that I just can't do that crap. So I had to learn how to do that and then combat that, in spite of what I may have wanted at the time for academic betterment. And even for like you, for both of us as people that have to practice an instrument regularly, though you're probably 120% better about remembering to practice than I. But like I had to figure out, there were times of the day that I just could not practice because my brain would be too overlogged or just whatever.
Yeah. I for me, it was more like just learning that being a healthy person was something you should consider. Because,
You'll
going
push
to bed at
yourself
3 a.m. every day of the week is just not the greatest thing for you, and eating super poorly
Well, it weighs on you.
doesn't help. Yeah.
It costs you more than you could have ever.
Yeah.
Really,
And
really
you realize, you think sometimes that, if I just put in another hour of work, it'll be fine. I'll just, I'll just get 5 hours of sleep tonight or whatever. But then you realize that you're less effective the next day, and so it would have just been smarter to go to bed and not worry about doing that day.
Right.
So it's knowing how and when to stop, especially with the working part.
Which even now, like the other day, like before our music history exam, I think I may have told you this, but like we studied for, there's a group of us, we studied for what, like an hour and a half, 2, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Something around that, and it was like 11 when I came home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll stay up and study. We had an exam the next morning, a music history exam, which is just notorious. And on the back end now, we can say we literally, like, it wouldn't have mattered how hard we studied. It was still pretty stupid. But anyway, we come home, and I'm just like, my brain was so overlogged. I was so tired, and I'd been studying so hard for another exam earlier that week. That when it came time to like do music history stuff, I was just done. So I'd done all the studying that my brain could handle and my body could handle, and I was like, I'm gonna confuse myself if I stay up. So I'm just gonna take my allergy pills and go to bed. Again, I don't think it would have helped me.
Yeah, that's more or less what I did.
But that's like, like you were saying, it's an important thing, and especially with this music that we do, you can't just surface level do that. I don't think music benefits itself to that kind of learning.
Oh no, for sure, that's definitely not the case.
Especially with an instrument like the piano, where it's just there's such a range and you have to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's learning, a piece from the beginning, at the beginning stages of whatever, there's a lot that you have to know. Okay, I can't learn notes right now because, like, I've got crap to do. Or my brain's not going to work. And you can't commit yourself to that music, and then you're going to be distracted, and you're not going to be productive. Which, I mean, is a consistent struggle for me. I don't know how that is for you, but it's pretty consistent for me anyway.
Yeah, I think it's something we all always deal with off and on,
Well, and then, we think about, like, now, like, graduation's kind of...
It's close. Senioritis is a very real thing, and it begins earlier than you expected.
Yes. For those freshies listening, just get ready, because, like, halfway through freshman year, you're ready to graduate. Like, you finish Gateway, you're like, all right, where's my diploma? I can't even say Dr. Khan now, because he's not going to be president by the time, like, there's another class of freshmen.
True.
Jeez. Rest in peace, Paul Khan. He's not dead.
No, he's just becoming chancellor,
He's just becoming
Chancellor Palpatine.
Palpatine. Yeah. And, like, I mean, we're junior year, and, like, I think, for me, I was ready. Like, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, like, halfway through last year.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just because, well, and now, like, we're planning recitals. Like, you've got a recital later this semester.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a concert I'm planning and trying to schedule meetings for and hire people for and, meet with crew for and all this other stuff. And you've got rep you got to practice, and you've got to meet with Cecilia, and you've got, just all these things. And it's like, wow, these are things that we thought were so far in the future 3 years ago when we were sitting in our first perf sem. And now, like, I blinked, and I'm planning my senior concert.
Yeah, it comes a lot quicker than you expect, and a lot quicker than you like, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because you feel like you have so much more that you can do.
There's definitely, like, large periods of time where I'm like, oh, did I do enough?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You wonder if you took advantage of enough of
Like, did I sit and do nothing for too
opportunities you
long?
had,
Did I waste time? Especially, like, because for me, I had that, 3 months where I was, like, physically incapable of doing anything. So I was just like...
you stepped on a board.
Literally. Which I'm sure will be gotten to at a later date. Maybe we can bring in a special guest.
For a nice little story hour.
There. Which, by the way, formatting-wise, no idea how this is freaking gonna work. I don't even know, like, how often I can get this guy over here to record this crap. Because he's a busy bee, I'm a busy bee, and then heaven forbid we try and have like special guests on. I think.
Hey, listen, it might be best if we just do like little short, palatable little
blurbs,
little stories, little anecdotes, whatever time allows, but just something for the audience's general entertainment.
Right. So
it's gotta be engaging. We don't just want to talk about ourselves.
I mean, we can. We have. We've done so many amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, we are pretty great.
Just like wow, look at everything that we can do with the best of our ability. Just amazing.
Hey, listen, I don't know. One day we might be we might be the new Rhett and Link. You never know.
Hey, you know what? Rhett and Link, we're freaking coming for you guys. I'll be the nerdy Well, frick, we're both wearing glasses. Well, you can wear contacts.
I'll just put my contacts.
You'll have to start growing a beard, though. Can you handle that?
Just give me a couple of years when we'll come back. We just won't record any video until
right. Then. No AV thing. We're just gonna go audio straight mix, guys.
We can mix in some ASMR too, just to spice it up a little bit for those who enjoy those types of things.
Yeah, so we'll have a separate. Stay tuned for ASMR or AB SMR, which is our initials, and SMR for whatever that stands for. But definitely plan on having some little interesting stories. And I think for that injury in particular, I think it'd be actually really funny if we brought on the perpetrator in said incident.
The cause of such accident.
Which
the board itself.
That board's broken. Is on the wall, actually. Or pieces of it are.
It's a relic.
Have you been up there since? That's something to cut out, stupid. Yeah, I think we may bring on the special guest. And obviously other people. We might bring on your girlfriend, our good friend Mark Watney.
Also known as Whitney Houston.
Yeah, also known as Whitney Houston. Also known as... Oh, God.
I don't know. Is there something else I don't know about?
No, I don't know. I just was trying to remember if we had another crazy nickname. Or maybe the Queen of Ohio herself, Megan Slashbatch. Maybe. I don't know. We don't. This is very basic at this point. Definitely have to bring our boy Seth Crazy T Thompson. All of the nicknames are being had today, folks. But I don't know. What's a good starter juicy story that nobody, or at least nobody that doesn't know us already, would know that you can think of? It would be entertaining. Either about me or you, honestly. Like either it's fair game, or that involves both of us.
I don't know. We gotta be very selective in our.
We don't want to blow our load too early, you know.
We can't. Guys. Hey, we have to decide if we're keeping this. If this podcast could be a solid PG or G rating, or if we're gonna up the ante.
Well, listen, for certain episodes, I guarantee you we're gonna have to censor some stuff. So,
listen, if there are large portions of silence, that's just because there was something in there that we really could not.
Silence or just censor. I don't know how I'm gonna.
Silence is safety. That's our new motto.
The piano duet. Silence is safety. There you go. That's the one.
There are some stories that cannot be said on air.
Or at least details that cannot be revealed to protect the innocent. I don't know. What's a good... I have a good starter one. And maybe it's a really short one. But maybe you have a little short anecdote. And you can play off of this. So I'm going to now... Listen in, ladies and gents. I'm now going to recall the tale of the destroyed RD's car. Now, some of you may already know this story, and I'm going to recount it to the best of my ability. So I, as I said before, lived in a little dormitory known as Bowdle O'Bannon, the castle on a hill, as it were. And I was but a wee freshman boy, and I mean, it was our first semester at Lee, and it was before I got hurt. I know that because I walked to class when it happened, or just after it had happened.
Back when you weren't a cripple.
Before I was a cripple, and now I'm no longer a cripple. Thank you for asking.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Let's just be honest. Nobody gives a flying flip. But I was living in Battle O'Bannon, OB4, represent, and I walked down all 4 flights of stairs, and I come outside, and there's just this kind of commotion in one corner of our parking lot. So the whole behind the dormitory is this pretty expansive parking lot. Though it still has parking issues, especially when there'd be softball games. And there's like one parking space that nobody else can touch other than like handicaps, which was the RD parking space, which is the resident director, who is our boy Zach Skinner. And nobody else could park in this parking space. Like, I mean, I'm sure it was a similar way at Medlin.
Yeah.
There's a designated space because they live there. They do they work for the university. They do all sorts of stuff. Skinner was a cool guy, but he was kind of awkward. He was young enough to where he was semi-hip, but he was old enough to where like he was trying too hard sometimes. No offense. That's how I felt. And there was all sorts of crazy stuff that went on in our freshman dorm, which that might be recounted when I bring on my roommate for an episode, when it becomes this piano trio, because he can play 2 notes on a piano, therefore it counts. So I come outside, and I'm walking around, and there's a commotion in the far side from where I lived, which is also where it happened to be the RD parking space. And I didn't think anything of it. I just kept going. We have, like, group me. I don't know how it is at other universities, but at Lee, like, group me is its own religion. If you don't have a group me for an event, it didn't happen. So we had a group me for our floor. There was some commotion on there, too, if I remember right. And so I get back home that evening and walk into our cluster, and there's some of the guys talking, and they're kind of laughing, which was normal, but except this time they kept mentioning Skinner, and I couldn't figure out what's going on, so I kind of asked, I was like, what's going on? They're like, guys, you'll never believe this, someone took a dump on Skinner's car. And I was like, you mean like they went to a prank store and they bought fake dog poop and they just like threw it on the car and ha ha ha? Like, no, someone like in the middle of the night walks into the parking lot, goes and just drops trow and goes for it, and left a nice little treat, or maybe not so little treat. And I'll be honest, I laughed really, really, really hard at it. It's not that we didn't like Skinner, but just the concept of someone being bold enough to do that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard in my life. And so Skinner was upset, to say the least. He was a little peeved, and was, absolutely determined to find the culprit. Just so determined. And it wasn't like someone took a dump on my car, I washed it off, gosh, that cost me like $4. No, it like ruined the car. Like, the smell would not go away. He sold that car like a week later, got a new car. It was just the most knee-jerk reaction to someone taking a crap on your car is buying a new one. Like, you should be doing that for your friends who have bad cars, just to like go ahead and get them a new one. The culprit was never caught, as far as I know. I 2 years later found out who, or at least who was friends with the people that were responsible. I never got the name of the particular individual that did this. But yeah, that's my short little story about life in B.O.B. and the tale of the RD car. Do you have any little scintillating Medlin stories that are semi-PG?
Well, going with the whole freshman year dorm thing, I think some of us know that I had, he was a great roommate for freshman year.
And a great
but
guy.
He was also, he was fond of pranks. Let's say
This
And,
boy loved a good prank war.
oh yeah, 100%. I can't really say when this started because I don't really remember. But at some point, he started off with small things. I think he was pranking other people in the hall for a while. But then, it moved into the room because I just stayed away because I knew that if I got involved, it was going to turn into a full prank war, and then
just chaos.
Then it was going to be a mess because I would have to fear for my life every time I went to the room, and all this stuff. So, anyways, there maybe wasn't just one super influential prank, but there was a mix of a few. There were some minor things like he stuck a giant pumpkin in my fridge, and then I opened the fridge and a giant pumpkin fell on me and almost crushed me. Stuff like that. I think one of the longest running pranks he had was, I think I had a box of, I can't remember if it was Raisin Bran or it was some kind of cereal that was sitting on top of my fridge, and I had it. I bought it at some point in the semester, and then I was eating from it, and after a while, I was kind of like, gosh, I had this box of cereal for an awful long while, and they're still pretty full, and so I was just like, this is strange. So I didn't really think too much of it, and then I noticed one day that there was some markings on the bottom of the box, and they just looked like little tally marks, and I was like, huh, that's strange. So I kind of kept an eye out because I was a little suspicious at that point, and so I noticed one day that Adrian was sporting a little Ziploc bag full of that cereal on his way back from the calf, because the calf has a small variety of cereals, but the cereal that I had happened to be one of the ones that they have at the calf. So I figured out that he was doing this, and I didn't say anything just because I wanted to let him continue, and then
so just straight up stealing cereal from the calf.
Well, it's not stealing because you're swiping that card. I mean, you're not going to pay $9 for that stuff.
It's true.
Anyways, so I knew about this, and so I was just going to let it keep going. And then I was trying to figure out the best time to reveal this, and I told a bunch of other people about this happening, and it was just a fun time. So I just sat there and
kind of torturing him without him knowing. Without him knowing,
just waiting, and eventually there's one night where I was like, I have to get this over with. So we were both in our room, and I was like, hey, so this really weird thing was happening. And I was just saying this like sort of like it was a, just
a normal...
Yeah, reporting an odd occurrence. So I was like, so this really weird thing has been happening. It's like, I bought this cereal like a couple months ago, and I still have like a ton of it left, and I'm pretty sure that I've eaten at least a box worth of this stuff. He was like, wow, that's so strange. And he was trying super hard not to laugh and everything.
Right.
And he may recount the story slightly differently, but
to be honest though, like when he knew he was caught, he was really terrible about hiding it.
Oh yeah.
Like he
started to kind of chuckle a little bit. And he was like, huh, that's so strange. And I was like, yeah, just really strange. And then I don't quite remember how the rest of the story goes, but eventually I broke the news to him that I'd been hiding this for quite some time now, and I'd known about it for a little while, and I asked him about the little marks on the bottom of the box, and he finally had to come clean about giving me more cereal. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of a little generous generous nod right there.
Like not just anybody would be willing to do that for a bro.
Oh yeah,
that's what a guy.
That was good. But I mean, there were lots of other things. I mean, my whole wall was covered with an entire Vindagua. That was a whole other story within and of itself.
The mattress, someone being in your room and you didn't even know it.
Oh yeah, I mean, there were many nights at 1 a.m. where I was surprised by another person in my bed that was not supposed to be there.
But no bad blood. Just like good wholesome pranks.
If it wasn't for these pranks, it would have been quite the boring time.
We love you, Adrian. We miss you. You and your complaining about how much we complain about the cold. You would have loved today. We had 2.5 inches of snow. I guarantee you they wouldn't have called classes off if it was a school day.
Yeah, they would.
You think?
Yeah, because the roads weren't clear till like...
That's true. They weren't clear till like almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
There was actually a guy spinning out at Humanities.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So for everyone else's reference, there's a kind of steep hill coming out of one of the buildings that dumps off onto this four-way intersection, and this guy in like, I mean, normal like SUV, it was like a RAV4 or a Highlander or something along those lines. And I was walking to an event today, and it's literally just me, the snow, and this one car, and like you can't even hardly see tracks on the road. And he's trying to pull out, and I hear this like, and I'm like, somebody like shoveling, and I kind of like look down the hill, and he's like trying to come around the curve, and he makes it about 3 feet, and his wheels just start spinning out, and I was just like, yeah, I would not want to be you, buddy. But then, like, by the time I got out of rehearsal later today, it was just slush.
Yeah.
It was kind of lame. It was nice to have a bit of snow.
Yeah.
I think the last time we had a good snow was freshman year, now that I think about it.
Yeah, and that wasn't even that much.
Well, we had ice.
This is just about the most we've ever had.
But we had ice back then, though.
True.
Like, a lot of ice. It was pretty crazy. But, yeah, so there's your little stories, the tale of the destroyed RD car and the tale of the eternal cereal.
Yeah.
All of these need to be named, by the way, and they will be for reference for a quiz later on. So pay attention, kiddos. But yeah, I don't even know, like, transition wise, it got quiet because the air unit went away. I don't know how this is gonna work.
That was our special guest for today.
That was
our special guest has left, so now it's time to
shoot. Now it's time to
transition.
To transition. What's a good transition? Oh, look, a bird.
There's a plane.
Look at. I don't even know.
We digress.
But we digress. We don't know what we're doing. In case you couldn't figure that out, we would love to know, for the three of you that are listening. Hi, Mom. Hi. I don't know. Who should we say hey to? You think your parents would listen?
I don't know.
What's up, Liam? We're just gonna name drop people that nobody even knows. What's going on, Zachary? Who's not my roommate Zach, but my little brother Zachary. What's good?
Hey, listen. Do we need to keep like a certain level of confidentiality on here? We have to protect our identities, so we gotta use some pseudonyms.
Oh, okay.
Like
for ourselves?
No, for other people.
Oh.
I mean, we're trying to get famous with this, right? So
I mean, sure, but like I don't think. I think I'll be famous enough by then, like I'm already skyrocketing, from here. Like Gatton can eat my shoe. Please take that clip out of context, Gatton. Please. I really want you to just save that on your phone, so when I call you, all you'll hear is Gatton can eat my shoe. Thank you. But yeah, like we don't know what this will be. I mean, like I said before, this has been like a funny little concept for a year. And we're just now getting around to it. Like all good things, we procrastinate in life.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll do some better planning, and this will just be legit, like the trial run episode, and
right that never sees the light of day.
And then we'll have some super high quality content, guys.
Right.
We want to hear from you in the comment section. Just drop a comment down below.
Drop a fat comment.
Drop a comment down below, and let us know what you'd like to hear about.
Drop a like,
because we want to develop a relationship with you guys, the viewers, the listeners. We want you guys to be involved.
hit the little bell.
Yeah, hit the bell icon, subscribe, like and comment, and
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, see, I've done this thing for a long time.
Oh yeah, clearly. Your YouTube presence is just dominating.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, you could check me out. I got like 20 subscribers.
It's probably more than me.
I don't have any subscribers.
Oh, really? Then
I have no videos on YouTube.
Oh, really?
But listen,
I posted that Christmas thing on YouTube, and it got like 30-something.
Oh, actually, I do. I have a posted video of.
Is it like an audition video?
No, it was a quintet that I did when I was back in high school, and it's got 2.9 thousand views.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
First off, say 2,900 views. Second off, That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's
there we go.
What were you playing? Do you remember?
It was just some piece.
Oh, yeah, some piece.
Just
That's my
some piece,
favorite. But yeah, in all honesty, like if there's things that you think would be funny for us to do, I think it might be funny if we did like something involving like talking about music that we've listened to or something like that.
we should make this into like a not like
a critique,
not like a TED Talk type of deal, but like something that's like engaging, something that's not just
like obviously you care so much about our lives that you're listening to this, but something that would engage you guys, that you would enjoy hearing us talk about, maybe that you think we would be interested in. Literally, like anything is up for grabs. We do know a couple things about music.
I mean, we've spent a little while.
We've spent 3
and some
years,
money,
Yeah, a lot of money going to school here for 3 years. We've taken a few classes in things. We're currently learning more about music history. He already has more knowledge in a lot of that than me. But then when it dips past a certain year, my knowledge explodes and his slowly diminishes in terms of what was popular at the time. But yeah, talk about favorite albums. We can talk about artists that were influential. We can talk about genres, developments of genres, which
we can do reviews too.
Right, we can do reviews.
Some good reviews.
All the Lee people, you just watch out. You put out a single, we're definitely going to talk about it.
And we might start a roasting thing.
We might.
Like,
there might be some.
It's all good in good fun, but
some serious.
We want to get some healthy sizzle up in here.
We're looking at you. I don't even know who I was about to call somebody out, and then I was like, "Oh shoot!"
You got to be careful there.
I don't want to burn that bridge early.
Hey, listen.
Also, Servcast is a thing that you should listen to. It's also by Lee. We're not affiliated with Lee. We just happen to go there. Servcast is a whole meme that involves a professor at Lee and sometimes some really cool special guests. And they talk about all sorts of things. Their production value is about 7,000 times 40 better than ours. But there is officially apparently a podcasting studio thing in the Com building.
Know that.
I didn't know that until I knew that they were filming Servcast out of that.
Well, listen, we're going to rent that puppy out.
Well, listen, I'm in the Com building for audio production, so I could see about getting us in there. Because apparently, people want to use that. So.
Oh, really?
So, stay tuned for possible expansive quality updates.
Special editions.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, this is some kind of special edition because it's never happened before, right?
Right. This is the debut. I don't even know.
What if it's the only one? That would be sad.
What if it's the only one? That would be a tragedy.
Listen,
However,
this could just be a.
Is it likely? Maybe.
This just be like a little addition to a time capsule for February 8th, 2020.
Yes, listen, when Anderson Cooper is talking about 2021, he will list this podcast as one of the quintessential moments of the early part of the year. Just the year was never the same after the piano duet started, look at it now. Who knows where we'll be in 2021?
We got to come up with a catchier name, though. I mean, piano duet. Come on, that's just.
That's
a little too vanilla right there.
I mean, you got something better off the top of your head?
No.
See? For now, let it be known that it is something along those names, but, for now, it's that. Okay, hold up. That's also open to debate. If you think of something that would be, the funniest thing ever, but also would, be allowed to be posted and for me to share to my mom.
I don't know. You're saying this too, bro.
That sounded like the most pathetic thing I've ever said in my life.
Yeah, that sounds a little...
Please, my mom's gonna listen, guys. Shh, don't say bad words. Don't say the oh no, oh God.
Don't say shut up.
Shut up, bro. For those of you who are listening, we're about 45. Jesus, are we 45 minutes in? That's impressive. We've done that.
Dang.
So,
it's been a long talk.
Honestly, but it's not been bad though.
No.
I thought we would have much more trouble finding things to talk about, but then again, I've never had trouble doing that. So
Bryson's a little bit of a chatterbox, in case you haven't noticed.
I like telling people things about myself because I'm so arrogant. But anyway, I think it's about that time. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of whatever we're gonna call this. Honestly, I think this could be something really fun. maybe we could look back years later when we're filming like the 500th episode, and I'm in wherever I am, and you're like fresh out of a orchestra tour or something, and you're just I'm finishing putting out an album, and you're like off an orchestra tour, and we're like, wow, look at where our lives have come. That's a shout out to you, future me. Maybe you won't be so depressed all the time. And Aidan, do you have anything you want to say to your future self from this debut episode?
No, not really, honestly. Just remember, we got to find a nice outro for this whole thing.
Well, I mean,
maybe one day we'll decide on an outro.
Hey, look over there. It's
your mom. Ayo.
And with that, we bid you adieu. We'll figure out a formal intro at another day, but for now,
formal intro.
And also intro, and for God's sake, just something that has a regular form. For now, good day to you, sir, and madam, and every other color and conglomeration in between.
God bless America.
And the USSR.